2 games to go and still 8 teams in contention for the 2 remaining places in the playoffs that nobody seems to want to get into. The big winners amongst our playoff 8 this past weekend were Coventry, Sunderland, and no, I'm not going mad, Swansea. Coventry moved into 5th with a 2-1 win over Reading, while Sunderland inflicted a first home defeat in 15 games on West Brom to move up into 6th. Meanwhile, Swansea won their 6th game out of 7, 3-0 at Norwich, to move to within 3 points of 6th place. At this time of the season, draws don't really work, so if you're not winning, you're losing, especially if, like Blackburn, you allow local rivals Preston to equalise in minute 94 of a local derby to take a point. We've already mentioned West Brom and Norwich going under in those head-to-heads, but the biggest losers, maybe, were Millwall. The Lions lost at Wigan. That is 3 defeats in their last 4 at the worst possible time. Although, as I mentioned, it's actually simultaneously the best and worst possible time to be trending downwards. Obviously, look, at the business end of the season, a good finish is vitally important. But the run to the line has in some way resembled something of a 3-legged race at a primary school sports day this season, with competitors tripping up left, right, centre, everywhere. To add some context, the average points total of the last 10 teams to finish 6th rounds up to about 74 points. Our current 6th place team, Sunderland, well, their points projection has them landing at 68, which would match the 10-year low set by Leicester, who managed to get into the playoffs with that number in 2013. So we know it's almost certain to be a low tide. Who's going to get in though? Let's work our way up from the bottom, and Swansea are just fascinated at the moment, aren't they? They were 17 points off the playoffs just over a month ago. It's now a 3-point gap after the Swans won 6 of their last 7. Now, I normally call bollocks when I'm told there's always someone that comes from nowhere to get in the playoffs, but this would certainly be the exception to that. Swansea are tied with Norwich on 62, probably need to win both of their remaining games to have any chance. They go to Hull, then face West Brom at home. Norwich go to West Brom, then face Blackpool at home. Are either of those sides going to score maximum points plus multiple others slip up ahead of them? Probably not, but it would be fun to see just how close Swansea could go if they could round it out with 2 more wins, finishing with 8 wins out of 9. I'd actually put Preston above those 2 in the same bracket, to be honest. They do have 1 more point, but it's Sheffield United away and Sunderland at home. So again, I can't see the maths really working out for Preston with those 2 fixtures. Next up are our 2 teams with games in hand. The only ones, in fact, with 3 left to play. West Brom are on 63, but not liking their fixtures at all. We've already mentioned 2 of them, Norwich and Swansea. The other is Sheffield United away, with the Blades potentially able to clinch promotion. Blackburn have 3 games and a level on points, but their fixtures are horrible. Burnley at home, they're going to be playing for the title. Luton at home, and then Millwall away on the last day. They will absolutely deserve it if they get in following those 3. Millwall in 7th, nicely placed for the majority of the season, but in horrible form in the run-in. 1 win in 7. They go to Blackpool, and then they have that potentially giant head-to-head with Blackburn on the final day. Sunderland, on the other hand, have not lost in 7. They're trending up, won 3 out of 4, had that key victory at West Brom on Sunday. Watford at home, well, that looks nice at the moment given what's going on at Watford, but they probably need something from Preston away on the final day. Not easy. And finally, Coventry, they've snuck up in there into 5th with 2 wins in their last 3. They'll fancy Birmingham at home, and if Middlesbrough already know where they're going to be finishing and who they might be facing in the playoffs come round 46, maybe that game might be slightly easier than the league table would suggest. What an absolute chaotic pile-up this is going to be. I think the 2 certainties are that this is definitely going to the last day, given all those intriguing fixtures, and probably under 70 points is going to do it to get in. I'm not sure the games in hand for Blackburn and West Brom make that much difference given they're against the top 2. Maybe those 2 winnable looking home games for Coventry and Sunderland in round 45 will put them in a commanding position before going into what may well be a ludicrously tense final day. Now, this feels like complete guesswork, so let's go for one or other of Coventry and Sunderland who are already in there. Plus, the most Championship thing possible would be for Blackburn, who have confused us all season, to get in there despite those grisly-looking final 3 fixtures. Let me know your take down there in the comments. As always, I'm far more interested in what it says on your calculator after you've had a look at the fixtures, rather than what is written across that lovely scarf that you wear when you go to the football. So that's my take on a race that's probably going to be won with an artificially low points total. What about the absolute polar opposite? Why not click up here to see my take on League One and an automatic promotion race that's going to be won with a very, very high points total.